The top story tonight, reaction. Joining us now from New York is Mark Levine. He's a radio talk show host and a former congressional attorney. And Fox Business anchor Stuart Varney, whose program Varney and Company airs weekdays at 9:20 a.m. All right, gentlemen, first I'm going to go to Mark because, Mark, I know you were chomping at the bit there during talking points. Take your best shot. Where did I go wrong in my analysis?
Well, the first thing you did going wrong was you compared the federal income tax burden to the entire tax burden. That's a common conservative mind trick. But middle class and poor people pay more Social Security taxes as a percentage of their income than the rich. There are all kinds of taxes other than federal income taxes. The Social Security burden, as I mentioned, if you make $100,000 a year, you pay 7.5% of your income. If you make $1 million a year, you pay less than 1% of your income. You make $10 million a year, you pay less than 1/10% of your income. So this is a regressive tax, one that favors the rich at the expense of the poor. But you're not going to talk about that one, are you, Laura?
All right, so you think that the rich don't pay enough taxes. And just before we get to Stuart, what would the right top bracket be for you to make it all totally fair?
I think if we go back to the Clinton years, the 39.6% bracket, you got to remember the economy was better in the Clinton years than practically any time in American history. We had overall expansion. The rich got richer and the middle class got richer and the poor got richer too. That's a fair burden. And remember, in those days we had a surplus.
All right, so 39% plus the increases in the Medicare taxes that we're going to have, as well as other increases in taxes down the road. Stuart, you heard talking points. You can react to what Mark said. This is a regressive tax code.
Oh, look, Mark is lost in the weeds. He should open his eyes and take a look at Europe, because that's where we're heading. Europe is paralyzed with debt, subject to massive entitlement programs, a very high rate of unemployment, and riddled with anxiety. We are going down that road with our taxation policies. And when we enact a VAT, a hidden sales tax, we'll go even further down that road. It is profoundly un-American. We're going to resemble Europeans, who are essentially a pack of pagan losers, and I don't want to go in that direction. Sorry, I don't want to do it.
Oh, boy, here comes the emails from Europe. Now, Mark, what I heard from some Democrats over the last couple of days when the VAT tax, the value-added tax, was mentioned, I heard some people say, well, look, if we have to do this, it's only because we have to dig ourselves out of the Bush hole, all his spending and everything he did. Do you think that blame Bush mentality is going to work now into the second year of the Obama term?
Laura, I don't know what Democrats you've talked to. I haven't heard a single Democratic politician propose a VAT tax. In fact, I'm only hearing it from people on the right, from Charles Krauthammer, from you, Monica Crowley. No Democrat in their right mind.
All really smart people, by the way.
Wait a minute. Well, no Democrat in their right mind.
Ben Bernanke yesterday, Stuart, you can jump in, but Bernanke yesterday said, look, we're either going to have to cut entitlements, cut spending, or we're going to have to think about another way to generate revenue. What else are you going to do? You can only go back to the rich so often, and you're still not going to raise enough money.
It is the top guns, it is the top guns, the top economic guns in the Obama administration who are openly talking about a value-added tax or a carbon tax or some way of taxing what we spend our money on as opposed to our income. It is a massive tax increase on the middle class, and it's coming. There is a deficit reduction commission that is currently sitting. It reports on December the 1st. Almost inevitably, it will recommend a consumption tax, and President Obama will go along with it and say, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to tax the middle class. The commission made me do it. That's the road we are headed down.
That's passing the buck. Hey, Mark, do you think it's actually a cool thing? I mean, just looking at, you talk about fairness, economic fairness, for half of the country to pay no federal income tax whatsoever? You think that's tax fairness?
Do you think it's fair for a person who makes $10 million a year to pay virtually no Social Security taxes?
Yeah, they made the money. Did they steal it or did they make it?
At the end of the day,
that's the kind of vilification of the wealth that has gotten the Democrats in the approval hole that they're in right now. It is a soak the rich mentality that is going to destroy the free enterprise system as we know it. What's the point of growing your business
today? At the end of the day, all we're going to do is go back to the Clinton tax rates, which, need I recall, are lower than the Reagan tax rates. A lot of, Republicans praise Ronald Reagan.
Not when you add the rest of the tax increases to it, Mark. Not when you add the other increases that are provided for in the other part of the budget of President Obama. It's going to be going up.
The only thing President Obama is adding in the health care law is requiring the rich to pay the same percentage of Medicare taxes that the poor middle class made. He's making it a flat tax, which I thought Republicans supported. Let me reassure you, let me reassure Stuart, there will be no VAT.
America is all about going as far as your brains, drive, talent, and ability let you go, and keeping as much of the money as you make as possible and spending it as freely as you wish to spend it. That is America. We're not going down that road. We're going down the road to Greece, and it's a very sad thing.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate it. I'm kicking off a Hug a Rich Person campaign here tonight on the O'Reilly Factor. They're the ones who give all the
Poor
jobs.
rich
Anyway,
people.
we appreciate it. Next up.